I have an incredible footballer, soccer player from Man City, but more importantly, Zack Steffen is the co-founder of VOYCENOW Foundation. Zack, welcome to the Playbook, my friend.
Thanks for having me on. That was quite an intro. I appreciate it.
Of course, it's one thing to play in the Premier League, but it's another to be from the United States and be able to compete in the world stage of the most competitive sport, the most popular sport in the world, even though our culture, obviously is starting to recognize it. What for you and when for you did that dream, really become a reality for you?
That's a tough question. I mean, I think I knew that I could play at a high level a couple of years ago, kind of at the end of high school. Going into college, I had a lot of offers and some pro opportunities. But I knew I wanted to go to college. But I mean, my goal was always to come and play in the Premier League. But to actually be here, when I first got here, it was definitely surreal. And I don't think I'll fully grasp the magnitude of it all until I'm done playing, or maybe I'm done playing in the Premier League.
One of the things with VOYCENOW and other parts of your life, I spent a majority of my life trying, from when I played at Occidental College, which was a very liberal school, to working and representing, doing the Jackie Robinson statue, to business partners with Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon, the first Black Hall of Famer, both in the United States and in Canada. And yet through that journey of mine, I can never understand, what it's like to be Black. And I don't want to speak for people that are Black or brown or anybody else. What I want to do is teach people to appreciate the difference. And I think this message of appreciating our differences overwhelmingly can support so many things that we do and simplify so many things instead of separating us. And, you created VOYCENOW to help amplify the Black voice of athletes who stand on the big stages that have a great impact. For you, what is your vision of not only the VOYCENOW Foundation, but for the voice itself? What is your ambition of what that content should be, or what the purpose should be of that voice?
Yeah. So for me, it's about human decency and human rights and just giving everybody equal opportunity to be successful and just equal opportunity for all. I was raised to treat everybody how I want to be treated. And I feel like my parents definitely ingrained that into the back of my mind. And I think about that every day. And for me, I grew up privileged. I didn't have to deal with that. I know of any really type of oppression or police brutality, or maybe there are times that people look down on me, but at the time I didn't understand it. So now that this year, everything that's happened with this year, I mean, it's really impossible for me to just kind of sit back and not use the platform that I've created to be a voice of education and of experience and of reason for the people who are just being silenced and who need a helping hand.
It's interesting. I've been around athletes for a long time. I ran the most notable sports agency in the world and have dealt with, some of the greatest minority athletes that have ever played any sport. And there seems to be two types of, for me, leaders. One are those that have been oppressed and put down and have suffered and they want to change for that reason. And then there's, the Kaepernick side of things, like you, that grew up privileged and can, appreciate the difference because they're living in a different world of abundance that, isn't discriminatory. And then they want that to be the experience for everyone, no matter what our colors or sizes or races or religions are, which is what I want as well. Along the way, though, both sets of athletes that I've worked with really have depended on the support system around them. They acknowledge the support that they receive to have the success on the field, and they're acknowledging, again, the support system to effectuate an impact and change that they're trying to pursue. For you, where is that support system, growing up, and then how has that transformed as your audience has grown and your exposure has grown? Do you still have that support system, and how important is it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is why I created Voice Now, is because I did recognize that I wouldn't be where I am today without my support system, which is my family, my friends, the coaches that push me, even my teachers in school growing up, and then just my community around me that always supported me and had my back and wanted what was best for me, and gave me those opportunities to be successful, and gave me that kind of little push that I sometimes needed. And that's why we've teamed up with over 100 athletes, and they all have realized that their communities that they've grown up in, or the communities that they're playing in right now, are a big motivation for them, but also a big reason of why they're doing so well and why they're there where they are. So we want to get back to those communities and help out those communities that have given so much to us. And just, we want to help them out.
Zach, along with privilege, a lot of people think entitlement comes forward. There's probably no accolade or acknowledgement that you could receive from being, one of the few truly successful American soccer players in the Premier League in Europe without hard work. And I talk about the enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. And I know you may not have suffered the discrimination that a lot of people in America have suffered because of the color of their skin, but I imagine you weren't the highest touted player in Europe when they find out you're from America, number one. and then two, though, it takes that consistent, persistent. What were some of your discipline or strategy of building the habits to, really break through and be, one of the first great American soccer players in Europe?
Yeah, for me, I think just having an open mind, having conversations with experts and professionals and coaches, and talking to athletes that I would meet in the locker room, or I got to kind of train with the Philadelphia Union a couple of times growing up. So I got to talk to their goalie coaches and their goalkeepers, and just to kind of pick their ear and pick their brains about what they do on a day-to-day basis that will provide consistency and a longevity of a career. Even though it sounds like a long time, 15, 20 years is not very long for a career. And I don't want that to be cut short. So it's really just keeping an open mind and listening to the people that are around you, the strength and conditioning guys, your coaches, your mentors, and just learning as much as possible about the body and how you can take care of it.
And what's the closest you ever came to quitting?
To quitting?
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I would say, I definitely faced some really hard times when I was at Freiburg, right before I came back to Columbus Crew. And I was unhappy. I wasn't enjoying going into training or playing games. I just wasn't enjoying it at all. So that's probably the closest time I came to quitting in Columbus. I'm very grateful and thankful that Greg picked me up in Columbus when back in 2016, and that really kind of brought back my happiness and my passion for the game. And I'm thankful for that.
Yep. And you know what, that faith or passion is a currency. I call it an object of energy. We put it into the flow to get what we want from our careers. But, we deal with a lot of entrepreneurs on the Playbook, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious like me, how is the other currency, money, playing a role in your sports or athletic career? And how does it play a role with Voice Now?
Yeah, I mean, money obviously rules the world, unfortunately. So yeah, money's big. But for me, regards to playing, obviously money is amazing and it lets you feel comfortable and do all these cool things. But for me, I want to be happy and I want to enjoy the time that I have on this planet and enjoy the time that I have with my support system, my family, my friends, and the people that I've come across, and connected with in my career. It's very important to me that my family and support system are a part of my career. It's obviously tougher when I'm over in Europe. It was much easier in Columbus. But
I'll give you
me.
Okay.
Go for it.
I was going to say, I'll give you a little bit of mentorship from me on money, because for me, money doesn't buy love or happiness. And I think you should share that. It's so important. Your community is so important. Your platform is so important with Voice Now. But it's really important because I love the way you started out. You said money rules the world. I wish it didn't. And what I say is, let money rule let money rule the world, but let's teach people how to shop with their money, right? Because if you shop for the right things, money provides happiness and love and goodness. My greatest purchases have been, community centers in Africa and schools and junior achievement scholarships and other things like that. So I'm pressing upon you as a young leader with Voice Now. Let's teach people how to shop, and let's have them shop for the right things so they'll be happy, not for things you don't need to impress people you don't like. And you're doing such a great job of that. Real quick, as we finish up, one of the most controversial and complex organizations or causes or pursuits is Black Lives Matter. Obviously, Voice Now addresses that. And, I'm always looking for perspective of, how people, regardless of color, can support that movement and that cause of Black Lives Matters. What are we supposed to do? You're a leader in this space and you're speaking up. It's confusing to a lot of people, what exactly it means or what we should do. How can you articulate that for us?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say be open-minded, first of all, when you're having these conversations. Listen, take it in and try not to judge, because we all have stories, we all have different experiences, and it's all about coming together and sharing those experiences and coming together and trying to figure out how we can move forward together. You can't really just kind of shut down and listen. Yeah, you can't listen to somebody and then just shut down when you hear one thing that you don't like, because there's so many different people in this world. There's so many different people, or there's so many people. Not everybody's going to have the same story or experiences. So first, the first thing you can do is just have an open mind and be willing to listen. And
That's awesome, man. Well, Zack, you are an icon. I have 3 daughters and a son, and I hope they grow up to have the same values and fortitude, discipline that you do, because you are an old soul with a kind heart. And, it's not easy. Like I said, dealt with so many professional athletes. It's not as if time is abundant in your career, but to take on Voice Now and to co-found that and with the foundation, be able to help Black athletes utilize their own brands and platforms to create good, to create appreciation of our differences, to create equality. It's really impressive. And I want to thank you for everything you do off the field. And of course, I'm a Man City fan. So thank you for stopping all those goals so that we keep on winning.
That's awesome, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're an icon. The young Zack Steffen. He is a goalie for Man City and co-founder of Voice Now Foundation. Reach out to him, support the cause. Let's all unite. It takes people like Zack to do that, and we appreciate him.